What are the words that can describe the sea? The sea is blue, white, black. Maxim Gorky, a famous Russian writer, once said, "The sea was laughing." Anton Chekhov, another outstanding Russian author, remarked, "It is enough to write only one word, the sea." When the name of Alexander Marinesco turns up, everyone who loves history, who is interested in it, who cherishes the memory of the fatherland, and in the first place every sailor and submariner, recalls the day of the 30th of January, 1945. Wilhelm Gustloff liner, a symbol of Nazism, the pride of the Third Reich, sank to the bottom of the Baltic. It was the giant with a displacement of over 25,000 tons, 298 meters in length, with heatless apartments, a swimming pool and a church on board. Its few distance allowed to reach Japan from Germany. The ship was overcrowded with people. Altogether, there were over 7,000 people, including 3,700 submariners, 100 commanding officers, several women battalions, the top military and civilian officials of the Reich. The invulnerable, perfectly escorted 19-decked armed giant sank beneath the waves within an hour, after being hit by only 3 torpedoes fired from S-13 submarine, after Marinesco had commanded to fire. That was the starting point for the exhausting, excruciating way to glory, the way that lasted 45 years. That was the example of exceptional boldness and bravery, impressive even today. 2 hours of chasing the enemy in the surface position that is in sight of the Nazi. When it was requested from the enemy's liner, "Who are you?" the Russian guys answered some kind of gibberish. While the Germans were clearing up what was going on, the Russian torpedoes hit the target, and after that, the immediate urgent immersion. And mind you, that one of the torpedoes had failed to leave the torpedo tube, and only the courage and skills of the torpedo men allowed to prevent the disaster. They simply pulled the torpedo back, right into the submarine. And besides, note please that 240 depth bombs missed them. Was it a miracle only? Not only a miracle. First of all, they owed their lives to their own professionalism. I was born on the 15th of January, 1913, in the city of Odessa. My father, im.A.I.Marinesco, was an escaped sailor from Romania. My mother's name was Tatiana and she was from Ukraine. My father was threatened with the death penalty for having beaten an officer, and he escaped to the Russian Empire. Having married a Ukrainian woman, he changed the last letter of his surname from U to O, and his Romanian first name Ion was turned into the Russian Ivan. Marinesco would say in jest that he had been a sailor since he could remember. The passengers of the steamers at the pier threw coins into the sea, wishing to come back, and the boys would dive into the sea to get them in the underwater battles. Alexander Marinesco was sure to take part in those battles. He was always the life and soul of the party. He dived out of the water, showed everybody the coin, and put it in the corner of his jaw. Since his childhood, he knew how to keep his word, stand for himself, and stick together. The main thing about him was his desire to explore the unknown. He got his first sailing experience in Odessa Yacht Club. The sea tempted him to be a captain. He worked as a lifeguard at the rescue station. Being a boy, he saved 4 persons. The sharp lad, whose surname stems just from the word marine, was noticed and enrolled in the maritime school without examinations. A year and a half later, he was transferred to the Nautical College of Technical Fleet in Odessa. After graduation, 20-year-old Marinesco became the second mate at the Krasny Flot steamship. The same year witnessed his move into Leningrad. He's been selected for the submarine fleet course, his first own home, where he lived with his wife Nina and daughter Lara, and his first service on Shathrio-6 submarine. Service on any submarine is far from being easy. Even a tank is much cozier. Any negligence is a disaster. Any mistake is a wreck. Under these severe conditions, Marinesco learned the basics of his new marine profession hard and persistently. In November 1937, he was sent to high command courses. And suddenly, out of the blue, it was ordered to dismiss him from the fleet. Why? Because of his family. His father, a Romanian, had been in the territory occupied by the White Russians. It was such a disaster. They even rejected his application for the merchant fleet. However, being a proud man, he didn't file any petition asking to look into his situation carefully. It might have been that period when never-ceasing sadness settled in his eyes and the first symptoms of his future deviation from the official path manifested themselves. And all of a sudden, a new order was issued to return him to high command courses. Marinesco graduated from them successfully, gaining the rank of first lieutenant, and along with the rank, he got M96 submarine under his command. His urgent immersion took 19.5 seconds, against standard 35 seconds. That was an absolute record for submarine M96. It is the members of Marinesco's crew whom we owe that record. Later, people would say that the Wilhelm Gustloff sinking was just by chance.